Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruka Kwadash, which means all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, the one who the world ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Okay. I would like to send my double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone GMS for having taught me this truth, which is the 100% truth, and also for ruling well. I'd like to send my salutations to the hopeful elect spread around the four corners of the earth, those who are laboring in the vine, which is this earth in these last days, which we believe by the spirit of prophecy, and to those who are sincerely seeking the truth, shalom. So this lesson is actually going to be based on a message I received yesterday on WhatsApp. So there is this friend of mine. He just sent me a vocal message, which is a message that's been going viral, okay, within the Nigerian community. So when I listened to the message, it was actually this young girl, probably, because there wasn't no image, but you could just listen to the vocal message. So she had a message she wanted to send through to the people, especially people of our community, the Nigerians. So I would have played the message, but she spoke actually in using the Nigerian tongue, which it will be difficult for people to understand if you're not part of the group of people that understand this tongue. So anyway, to just cut the long story short, a message was she had a dream. So she was just crying all through this message. She was seriously crying at the beginning. She tried to speak up, boldly, but later she burst into tears, and so when I listened to the message, I could feel a pain that she was really terrified by the dream she had. Okay, so her dream was she had a dream that a lot of people were gathered. I'm just paraphrasing, summarizing what she said. So a lot of people were gathered, outside, or different kinds of people, different races, and all of a sudden there came a huge darkness, and she was scared. Everyone was scared, and she felt something, like poke her, like go and wake the people up. And at the beginning, she was like, why are you sending me to go and wake the people up? Like, why are you and blah, blah. She was just like, why must it be me to go wake people up in this, total darkness? Then, the second time she felt the same poke, she had the same reaction. Then the third time she felt the same poke. And it just came into her mind that, it was actually the last days, so she used the term rapture, which the Christians totally believe, which is, a false doctrine. But that was the term she had for it, But we, in the truth, brothers of Great Millstone, by the Spirit of the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, we know there is no such thing as rapture. The way the church explains it. We know that the Son of the Most High Yahweh, whose name is Yahweh Shai, will come back, okay, on that day, and he's going to come back in the clouds, with his massive, fathership, and it's going to be a day of darkness. Then we're going to get some scriptures to back all this up. To continue the story anyway, she was just terrified about this dream. She was totally terrified, and she was crying and telling the people she's also a sinner, she's blah blah. The people should watch out for, the end is near. She was really crying, and she was begging people to she actually believed that the poke she was getting and the dream was for her to send this message everywhere. So she was crying and begging people to send the message to people to wake up, and turn their hearts to the Most High. So when the friend actually sent me the message, when I listened to it, I could actually feel the young lady's pain, and I knew it was, what the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai actually promised as regarding the book of Acts, chapter 2. Then if you go back to down to 17, it tells you, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So this is actually what happened. And as we all know, lately people have been having different kinds of dreams and seeing the end. That people actually have a strong feeling this kingdom is coming to its end. Even those that are not in the truth, it doesn't really matter. All different kinds of people, they just having different dreams and different visions of the end coming, and it's a huge sign. And this is exactly what he says. It shall come to pass in the last days. So we are actually living at the very, very last days. So to just expound a little more on what she saw, I'm going to get from the book of Amos, because the day of the return of the Most High is a day of darkness. It's not a joyful day like the Christians. They believe that all of a sudden they'll just start floating in the air, and they just keep before this destructions. If you ask these Christians, like, what's the meaning of rapture, a good 100% of them don't even have a minimum idea of what they're talking about. Yes, I've asked them, they get confused. They say, okay, before the tribulation, all of it. So they don't even know what they're talking about. That's because the Most High hasn't kept the spirit in them. They haven't made their researches sincerely with their heart, in which this truth, you have to make an approach to this truth, being sincere, seeking this truth with all your heart, just like the book of, I think, Psalms or Proverbs said, if you seek me, I would, just paraphrasing, if you seek me with all your heart, I would show myself to you, So let's read from the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18, that quotes, Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness and not light. Okay? That day is a day of total darkness, a day of confusion. It's not definitely a day where people are going to marry and, be happy to be caught up in the sky and stuff. Yeah, a few people are going to be happy about that. That's the one third of the house of Israel, So to just back that up, So let me just read from the book of Daniel, because a series of things are going to happen. Book of Daniel, chapter 12. Okay, the point I want is, okay, so you see, and at that time shall Mikahala, because the name Michael in the real Hebrew tongue is Mikahala, which means who is like the Most High, I guess. Let's see. You see, who is like the Most High, who is like Yahweh. You see, that's the meaning of the name Mikahala. So, you see, Mikahala, the name, the Allah, his power, that's the so-called name that people call God, which the original name in the Hebrew tongue is Allah. Then if it's talking about the plural, it's Alahayam. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the message. So it says, and at that time shall Mikahala stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was seen since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So anyway, you see here there are 2 points. There shall be a time, a time of great trouble. Excuse me, a time of great trouble. And this time of great trouble is talking about the time of Jacob's trouble, as seen in the book of Jeremiah. And we are actually at the door of those times. Now we are already seeing the signs of everything. the sons of Esau, which are the ruling class, those ruling this kingdom right now that we know. They're pushing really hard. This how should I put it? This poison they want to inject into everyone. They're pushing it really hard, in which this poison has its role in destroying your gut gene, okay, and just sedating your gut gene, and it has its role. It could also kill you. So it's going already against the commandments the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has given us. So this is actually going to lead to the mark of the beast. Once they kill your gut gene, you have no other choice than to take the next step, which is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. Okay, so they have this great agenda, and now it's still on its soft, but the time is coming. I don't think it's taking too long. We're already seeing what's going on in the United States, and talking of here in Italy, we're already seeing what's going on. They call it how do they call it, gradualism. So a step after a time, you see things get more stricter, things get worse. Then we get to the point in which we have no other choice, and things really get really crazy and ugly. So we're getting into those times. So that's why the people have to wake up. I watched a video yesterday from the senior brother, GMS Watchman. He posted a video talking about YouTube getting restrictions. I'm just paraphrasing. The Democrats are actually making plans to take over all speeches that are that they deem extremist. In which the truth we're actually speaking about is under that category, and this law that they're coming up with is actually to prevent this truth that we're teaching about, to prevent it from spreading around. That's going to bring to pass the prophecy in the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11, which says, "And I will send a famine into the land, but not a famine of food, but a famine of the truth." So the time is coming in which people would not be able to go out and teach the truth and even make these lessons anymore. So the truth will be very, very scarce. That's why now it's good you seek the Most High when it's still possible to find them. I think the book of Isaiah speaks about that, if I'm not mistaken, and you should correct me. It says seek the Lord while you can still find him. I'm just paraphrasing. So we should seek the Most High Yahweh, but Hashem Yahweh Shai. We should seek him now while we can find him. Because the times are really coming in which we would not be able to find him. Okay, and you can see the only people that are going to be delivered are the people who are found written in the book. Okay, and regarding this book, let's go to the book of Revelation. Book of Revelation. I'll read from chapter 1. So you see, let's read verse 3. It said, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the word of his prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Okay, so you see, he said, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the word of his prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." It's not saying those who keep what the religion says. It's not saying those who keep what the government says. It's not saying anything other than keeping the truth that is found in this book, which this truth is actually speaking about the statutes and commandments of the Most High Yahweh, but Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, we have to keep his commandments, come out from all these dead religions, because these religions, they don't lead anywhere else than into grave. Okay, so we have to abandon all this and stop sipping from the cup of the fornication of Babylon, and seek the true names of the Most High. These are the keys. If you want your name to be written in this book, these are the keys of what you have to do. Come out from all these false philosophies. Seek the truth of the Lord in truth and sincerity, in honesty, in meekness and humbleness. Humbleness of heart. Obey his commandments to the best of your abilities. And call on his real names, because on that day the name Jesus is not going to save you, the name Jehovah is not going to save you, the name Emmanuel is not going to save you, the name whatever you call is not going to save you. Those are fake names. Those are false names, you know. Many prophets have been teaching this from a long time, many years back, that, you know, giving you the proofs about the name, the origin of the names of the Most High. The letter J wasn't even created in the 1611. It wasn't even created, you know. So how can it be called a Greek name when he's a Jew, you know? So anyway, I don't want to keep this lesson too long. I am going to read from the book of Isaiah. I'm going to read from the book of Isaiah, chapter 45. Chapter 45, verse 12, which quotes, "I have made the earth and created man upon it. I even my hands have stretched out the heavens, and all their host have I commanded. I have raised him up in righteousness. I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city, and he shall let go my captives. For no price nor reward said the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabian men of stature shall come over unto thee. They shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplications unto thee, saying, Surely Yahweh is in thee, and there is none else. There is no power." Okay, so the reason why I'm reading this, you see, we are those who are going to be saved, you know, from this destruction that is about to come, which is a destruction that is coming through nuclear turmoil, nuclear world, nuclear bombs. Okay, it's the third world war, as written in the books, in the book of Revelation. You know, I already made different lessons, and many elders and apostles of Great Millstones have taught a lot about, you know, the third world war that is coming. And if you're smart enough, if the Most High opens your eyes and you're seeing the news, you can see they're paving a way for the third world war, which is coming very soon, and it's going to be a turmoil, nuclear weapon, and nuclear war, you know, in which is going to cause the destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay, America is going to be destroyed by these thermal nuclear weapons, and no one is going to inhabit those lands anymore forever. And what's going to happen is those who are going to be saved, they're going to be beamed up by the chariots of the Most High, you know. They are going to be saved from this destruction, and those people are going to be a third of the house of Israel, as regarding the book of Zechariah. Okay, and in that one third, you have the 144,000 elect who are going to rule alongside with the Son of the Most High, Yahweh Shai. Okay, and we are going to have all the hidden nation, our slaves, you know. Esau is going to get the worst of it, because Esau is the seed of the wicked, in which they're going to suffer slavery for 1,000 years, and after 1,000 years they are going to be exterminated, okay, cut out of the face of the earth. And Esau is the so-called white man, okay, in which, in this truth, we know that the color doesn't really matter. It's the spirit that detests, because most of the sons of Israel are already mixed with different nations and already become like them. But when we speak about the Caucasians, the Caucasian root, the so-called white man, they know themselves. They have a kind of spirit, you know, that spirit that goes against the Most High, that spirit of rebellion, you know. They are a damn, I don't really have the word. They are a condemned race of people, you know, and they're going to suffer and pay for all the destruction and all the confusion they've put around, you know, with different religions, you know, coming up with their false democracy, putting people into hard slavery, you know. So if you think you're free now, you should better think twice, because you're not free. You're in hard bondage in the hands of the wicked. Okay, so just to close up this lesson, to close up this lesson, I'll go back to the book of Daniel, because there is something I didn't read, you know. So, okay, let's read from the verse 2. Okay, so verse 2 quotes, "And many of them shall sleep in the dust of the earth, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." Now ask yourself where you want to belong. If you want to wake up to everlasting life, or if you want to wake up to shame and everlasting contempt. So I would like to close up with the book of John. Is it John 14? Okay, and verse 15, which quotes, "If ye love me, keep my commandments. If ye love me, keep my commandments." And you can see they're written in red letters. These are the words of the Son of the Most High, Yahweh. And what commandments is he talking about? The same commandments that are in the book given to Moses. Okay, those are the commandments he's talking about. Okay, if ye love me, keep my commandments. So you should think about all this. Speaking to those who are outside this truth, you should think about all this. There are many things you need to really think about. If that your pork chopping, that your pork eating pastor is teaching you the truth, because I also was in a church one time. They just teach you all sort of madness. They never teach you about about the commandments. They just tell you to believe, and you're good. Man, these people are leading y'all to destruction. And remember, once again, Christianity is a huge religion. Christianity is really big, and it's if it's not the largest religion on the face of the earth. And remember what the commandment, the word, is it the book of it's still, I believe, in this book of John. It says, "Narrow is the way that leads," I'm just paraphrasing, "narrow is the way that leads to life, and there will be very few that find this way. And broad is the way that leads to death, and many are going to go through that way." So having said this, I hope you're being edified, and I hope the Most High wakes the spirit of the house of Yasharala, the one third, those who are left to be sealed. The Most High wakes them up and shortens the time, and the Most High quickens his return, hastens his return, because we are tired of this kingdom and we are ready to leave this kingdom. We're ready to start up the new kingdom with Yahweh Shai. And having said this, I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruka Kodash. Then my double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for having taught me this truth, which is the 100% truth, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. Shalom.